So you're heading to Amsterdam or you're already here and you need some things to do. Well, here are 10 tips from a local on what you should do. For those of you who don't know, I've been living in Amsterdam for 4 years and I've had so many people come visit me, from family to friends, and people are always asking me, what is there to do? This is a list of things that I always do with my friends that you should definitely check out. Number 10 is definitely time of year. My suggestion is come in the springtime. I have so many people who always wanted to see the tulips, which is very common here. Then the only time you can do this is during the April-May season. So you really have to time your trip accordingly to this. If you're not into seeing the Dutch flowers and you're more of a party person, then there's also Kingsday. Again, this is in the spring. So Kingsday basically is a massive party that everyone dresses in orange and just drinks on the street. Basically like the 4th of July, Canada Day, or any one of those big celebrations, but for Dutch nationalists. It's definitely one of those top 10 things to do in Europe if you're traveling. So definitely come in the springtime. Number 9, this one is also super obvious, but rent a bike. There are bikes everywhere in Amsterdam. People probably have extra bikes. Getting on a bike is the fastest, cheapest, and easiest way to travel around the whole city. So definitely get on a bike and get somewhere. If you want more information about biking, check out my other video that is specifically dedicated to this topic. Number 8, Anne Frank House. Okay, so you're probably thinking, yo, you're going through all the touristy stuff. No, but here's a tip. Should you go? If you get tickets, yes. If you don't get tickets, no. And I say this because getting tickets to Anne Frank House is very difficult. You sometimes have to get them about 2 months in advance. And if you don't have tickets, you're gonna wait about 3 hours in line. Now, personally, I would recommend the duration of your trip in Amsterdam to be about 3 days. You probably get everything in there. So if you're spending a half a day waiting 3 hours in line for Anne Frank House, I personally don't think it's worth it. So definitely get your tickets in advance. Now, Anne Frank House tickets, they do release them periodically. So even if you don't get them or you booked your trip last minute, still check on a regular basis because you may be able to fit that in. Number 7, another pretty obvious one here, and that is the red light district. So the red light district is one of those infamous areas of Amsterdam. Even if you're not into the red light district as a whole, it's definitely something you should check out. Now, the time of year, the time of day you should definitely go if you want to get the full experience is at nighttime on a Friday or Saturday night after midnight. But of course, that is completely up to you. If you want to go during the daytime to get a much more softer experience, that's perfectly cool. Again, I will make a whole video specifically dedicated to the red light district, so check out my links below. Number 6 is a boat ride. Getting on a boat in Amsterdam is quite a unique and special experience and definitely worth the money. Now, if you come during the winter, your only option is to get one of those closed boats, which is a tourist boat, which is still quite great and I would recommend it. If you come in the December months, getting on a boat, they do have the Light Festival in Amsterdam, and you can get a boat ride that gives you an experience to the Light Festival, which is also super cool, especially if you're into like architecture or urban planning. Definitely something you should check out. But if you're coming during the spring or summer, you can get open air boats and you can even get private boats. And if you can splurge on a private boat, definitely worth it, and much more of a chill experience, especially if you have a bunch of friends coming together, then definitely the best way to see and experience the city. Besides the bike. Number 5 is Museumplein. Museumplein is an area in Amsterdam that has all the museums, but what it also has is the giant I Am Amsterdam sign. So either way, if you're into art or not into art, it's probably something you're gonna stop by at some point. But in this area, there's like 5 or 6 amazing museums. So if you are into art culture, definitely check it out. You got the Van Gogh, because Van Gogh is Dutch. You got the Rijks, which got the masterworks of Rembrandt. Then you've got the MoCo, which is a museum of contemporary art, and here you got pieces like Banksy and Warhol and things like that. Much more smaller of a museum, but personally one of my favorites. Then you got the Stedelijk, which is also super contemporary. Always got these weird exhibitions going on. But other than that, if you can go up the street, there's my favorite place to check out is the Lionel Gallery. Now, the Lionel Gallery is not a museum. It is a gallery to purchase art, and there's loads of art galleries on this step. But the reason why I prefer it is because they have Damien Hirst, they have Banksy's, they have sometimes they have Warhols, and a lot of more contemporary art. So it basically feels like you're going into a museum. So I would definitely check that out. That's a little bit of an insider tip right there. Number 4 is eat a stroopwafel. Now Dutch cuisine is quite weird and special, and I will make a video on Dutch cuisine specifically. But if you're in Amsterdam, definitely get a stroopwafel. A stroopwafel is basically like an ooey gooey delicious caramel cookie. The best ones you can get is on Albuquerque Market, where they make them fresh in front of you. You can also get them in the 9 streets, where they deck them out with marshmallows and chocolate chips and make these like unique creations that are like one of a kind that I've never seen. It's like a new pop-up thing that's been coming up. Or you can just grab them at your local grocery store and bring them home for friends and family. Always a great treat. Number 3, another super secret insider tip. Well, not super secret, but another insider tip is the Brouwerij Eye. Brouwerij Eye is a windmill, but it's also a brewery. So if you're coming to Amsterdam, you should definitely have a local Dutch beer. And what better way to do it than inside of a windmill? At the Brouwerij Eye, they do have a tasting, which is 5 different beers of different qualities, so you can definitely try them out, especially if you're not a beer lover, or you just want to share and get a unique experience. That would definitely be my recommendation. Number 2 is definitely head up. Rooftops, baby! Because Amsterdam is super flat. So since it's so flat, you are able to get amazing views if you're able to head up. Now the number 1 spot to recommend is obviously the Adam Tower, located in North, just a short ferry ride, and even that ferry ride is enjoyable for new people and part of the experience. At the Adam Tower, they do have a swing, so if you are a little bit of a daredevil, you can try that out. Now the only issue I have with the Adam Tower is it's a little bit pricey, ranging around 23 euros. So if it's not in your budget, you can definitely skip it. But my recommendation though is hit up the W Hotel. Yes, it's a little bit swanky, but if you go up, they have a rooftop bar. The drink prices are pricey, probably around double what you would normally pay across the whole city, but you will get an amazing view and it will be much cheaper than the Adam Tower. Now, if you're visiting during the winter time, the W is fantastic because it's all closed in, so you can still get that view, while the Adam Tower is open. So you got your pros and cons to both. The view is better on the Adam Tower, just saying, but again, price is taken into consideration. And my number 1 tip that's must do in Amsterdam is get lost and wander. And I'm not even joking to you. Amsterdam's city is so beautiful. You'll see so much architecture. It's just amazing. And the best way to see it is just to wander with no way and plan. So give yourself a day of just wandering the streets, see what's going on, visit the little different areas, and you will probably get lost. So keep a map with you, or find the closest metro station that will get you straight to Central Station, so to reorganize yourself. Definitely check out the Pipe, and maybe even check out Dam Square. If you want to go shopping, there's Kelverstraat, and if you want a little bit of a more hipster experience, check out the Pipe. I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you got some insider tips on what to do here while you're in Amsterdam. Have you been to Amsterdam? Is there something that I missed that I should have mentioned? Leave a comment down below. Other than that, I would say please subscribe and like this video, and until next time, see ya!